Previously on Airtime Thrills.
All right, day 4, Tobu Zoo. This is going to be coaster number 700. All in all, am I happy that it's my 700th coaster and not Flounder's fish coaster? Yes. So, thank you, Kawasemi. Day 6, and we have made it. We're at Fuji Highland. I mean, this is a park I cannot believe I'm actually at. Must be that music, this drew me back.
It's enchanting.
We're doing something really cool. Going to a bucket list park of mine, Nagashima Spa Land. But you're gonna have to wait for the next episode for that. We're gonna do Nagashima, Shima, Spain, Himeji Central, and we're gonna end our time in Japan with Universal Studios. It's gonna be awesome. So, thanks for watching. See you then. All right, here we are in Nagashima Spa Land. We have a lot to do and not that much time to do it, so let's run.
I went to the back, walked on to like hang time accelerator. Say it closes at 2?
All right, Steel Dragon 2000. That is the last Giga that I need to ride, aside from Red Force. That was surprisingly good. It definitely felt like a Morgan. Definitely the roughest Morgan I've ridden, especially in the first 2 valleys. But the best part was that it barely trimmed on the return trip, so I got some sweet airtime, back row, on freaking Steel Dragon 2000. That is, I'm not sure where I rank it in my Gigas yet, but it was good. Like, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Well, I missed out on the Ultra Twister at Astroworld, but I finally got to ride one after all these years. Did not disappoint. Good drop. Not much airtime on the drop, but got really good airtime over the hill. And the inline twists are pretty good too. Just the watch for those brakes, those very sudden brakes. They are jarring. But yeah, really glad I finally got an Ultra Twister. That was one of the biggest priorities I had at this park, was to finally get on one of those. So really the only place in the world you can ride it is here in Japan. So as I've said in the channel before, Montezuma's Revenge was my first big major roller coaster, and that's, it's being renovated right now. It's not going to be the same as it was. So if you want to ride a flywheel Schwarzkopf shuttle loop, come to Nagashima Spa Land. This one is still excellent. It is time. It is time for Hakuge. This is my most anticipated coaster on the trip. I think it's going to be my favorite coaster on the trip. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. All right, we just did Hakuge twice. Once in row 4, once in the very back. And I gotta say, better than most of the RMCs I've ridden. That is a top 10 coaster. It is insane that we got to ride Hakuge. And like the good thing is, aside from the first drop, row 4 and row 12 are not much different. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it like put in the back row or anything like that, because it is good anywhere you can sit. Hakuge, expect that to be very, very high on my list this year. Nick, pay attention.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
vlogging. That was your 200th coaster.
It was.
We had that your 200th coaster, and it is now your what?
Number one
overall. And I can't blame you. I don't know where I'm going to put that quite yet, It's going to be top 10 for absolute sure. We got row 4, row 12, which is the back, and then we just got front car. He got front row. I took row 2 because I don't like odd number of rows in RMCs. It's just my own thing. But aggressive, airtime packed, diverse layout, over 5,000 feet. That thing seems to last forever. The Kuge is the real deal. Best coaster in Japan. Best coaster in Asia?
Oh yeah.
We'll see about TNT Express. Oh, gotta go to Korea now. Dang it. So one of my childhood favorites at Magic Mountain was, before they had Lex Luthor Drop of Doom, was Freefall. And they have a first generation Freefall here. I know they have one at Dorney Park too. I have not been on that one, but this one is testing. They're testing the Freefall. But it's not open yet. So if it opens, I'll get a ride. If not, it's cool to see it in action again. White Cyclone?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
One crazy thing about this park is that it closes at 5:30. Even though this is a Sunday, you can see 5:24, and there's nobody around in this area whatsoever. I'm all by myself. It's just this place just clears out. I mean, I think Kuge shut down already. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy to see a park close this early. This big park closing this early on a weekend. It's wild. So I'm going to say goodbye to Nagashima Spa Land right here. The park closes in about 10 minutes. Got no voice left. It's crazy. Kuge was definitely worth the trip, but Nagashima Spa Land is like the Cedar Point of Japan. This place is crazy cool. So many like old school rides. I didn't get to ride the free fall, but they have the old school shuttle loop, and they have the Ultra Twister, and they have the like the old Schwarzkopf looping star, and of course Steel Dragon 2000 is iconic, and this might be the best coaster in the entire continent right behind me. So yeah, we are headed off now to the next park, which is Shima, Spain, I believe. If not, then I'll correct it later, but we still have a week left on this trip. So let's get some Pyrenees. Alright, gonna take it a little bit easier today. This is Shima, Spain Village, and we are here to ride Pyrenees. Maybe the best invert in the world? Let's find out. Are you discounting the Iron Bowl coaster? I always said, don't get bitten by a weird Japanese spider. And here I am filming one. So we got a ride on what was supposedly the best invert in the world. You would say it's a little bit overrated?
Definitely overrated.
Yeah. I would say it's upper tier, at least top half. After the first ride, I was in row 6, left side. Good layout. Roughness wasn't too bad.
Pretty smooth.
Pretty smooth, yeah. It just, Snow Raptor, Snow Montu. I wouldn't even say it's an Alpengeist or an Afterburn. Maybe a Rivals Banshee, but yeah, I don't know. I think you should give a couple more rides on that thing, give it a fair shake. But it's definitely a solid invert. Just best in the world? I think people are going a little crazy there. Alright, well, we just got off Grand Montserrat, and that thing kind of just puts you to sleep at first, and then rips your head off once it gets going. That was a huge surprise. Do not sleep on that. That is one intense mine train coaster. James, these guys. So of my iron versus iron video, I finally got to ride Iron Bull at Shima Spain Village, and that was quite intense. Had a little, one transition was definitely jarring, but pretty good theming, intensity, pretty really solid indoor ride. All right, it's hot out here, so let's go walk through the ice castle. Yay! Okay, so this is basically a walk-in fridge, and it is absolutely freezing in here. Get out of here.
He sailed here on behalf of Portugal. Yeah, Portugal was Japan a long time. That's why the bread is.
This whole area looks a lot like Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. More authentic. So I am wandering, I mean this park has an upper and lower level. We've been wandering down this hill for a long time. And we finally reached the bottom, it looks like, where we found a pirate ship. So this park has all kinds of surprises. This is how you get back up to civilization. No walking for us. All right, and here's the real thing in Spain. We're in here, but we're in a replica.
But on my hand.
All right, this park is really, it's wide open. It looks really nice. They have a lot of rides here, like walk-through attractions and dark rides that are all kind of, you know, a little odd. They all have a really weird smell. So you can look forward to that when you come to Shima Spain Village. All right, this is like Alice in Wonderland, but even weirder apparently. So that was about, what, a 25-minute walkthrough? And we didn't understand what the heck was going on.
Probably the weirdest attraction I've ever experienced in my life.
Alice in Dark Land. Yeah, it was like a elevator that went down 1,000 feet, and then
Robots that attack you.
And then all of a sudden you smite a few playing card wearing soldiers, and then don't know if we won or lost, but we made it out alive. I don't know. This park's weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. All right, I just got my second ride on Pyrenees. That time we got back row, and man, that was butter smooth. The first half is super intense. Very interesting second half with the helix inside the loop. That definitely was, it shot up my rankings on that ride. Is it better than Montu? No. I wouldn't put it above Raptor, but it's like a serious contender for like the third best invert. Is it still overrated by some? Maybe, but I mean, this is really a legit, large-scale, custom B&M invert that, I mean, it is out in the middle of nowhere here in Japan, so I don't know if you want to make the trip out here, but it's good. So we're about wrapping up here at Shima, Spain. We're headed to Himeji Central tomorrow, so that is going to be a lot of fun. We get to ride the old Venus GP and about a bunch of other credits, which, if it's anything like this park, it'll be a big surprise. This whole park was just, I did not expect it to be what it was. Just the whole scenery, all the different rides they had here, and of course, one world-class coaster. All right, just a few days left on this trip, and we are here at Himeji Central Park. They have a Batman clone, they have Venus GP from Space World, they got this weird Japanese coaster, which was probably made by a company, I don't know who it is. But yeah, it's also a safari, so we got a full day here. Let's check it out. Ready?
Yeah. Lots of friends.
All right, Venus GP, this ride used to be at Space World until that park shut down and got removed here a couple years ago. The very first Maurer coaster, and supposedly very, very intense. Okay, so for one, longest spiel ever I've heard before dispatching. It was insane. They have like 9 different restraint systems to keep you in the train, and one of them is the neck-chopping Togo style, shoulder harness restraint, and it kind of made the ride unpleasant. and the ride wasn't too forceful. Maybe we'll try again later, see if it warms up. But yeah, so far Venus GP, bit of a disappointment to start the day. Guys, is this a credit?
This is the jankiest walkway.
I know.
I can feel stuff.
There's like rollers underneath my feet. Whoa, it beats walking, I guess.
Squirrel cage.
That lift hill is moving. Eisenneike, 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 Eisenneike. All right, we just rode Go Go Jet. Go Go. What was better, Go Go Jet or the Venus GP coaster?
That's a tough question.
Tough question. That was surprisingly forceful. I think during the ride, I'm like, this kind of reminds me of Desperado second half. And even when riding it, I'm like, yeah, this is totally Desperado. But then, you know, we also heard from my brother that it's more like Jaguar, which is also a very good comp. But this is janky like Desperado and had a little bit of potholes and laterals on the end and had an ending just like Shockwave. So in the end, this is a random coaster that should not be missed. Also because this place only has a few coasters and you shouldn't be missing anything. So,
Go go!
Go go! Let's go check out that water slide that looks like it's gonna kill you. All right, and with that, we got park completion. Ridden some good togos on that trip. That was not one of them. Mainly because of the profiling of the corkscrews was abysmal, and they don't believe in legroom on a lot of these coasters, like the Labyrinth and that one. Yeah, just not meant for tall people or even really normal sized people. That was a very, very tight squeeze for a major coaster.
短い時間ならチーターはネコ科の動物ですが、1日に平均して5キロから全く前シママと一緒にいるのは子供たちですね。敵のいてここセンターが集まって頭のデコボコ。
So short day today, only till 3 p.m. We got all the rides, we got the safari. So pretty good day at Himeji. Tomorrow we are going to Washuzan Brazilian Highland for another ultra twister and the rare stand up and sit down backwards coaster. 2 credits in my opinion, but you know, feel free to disagree. Well, we got 2 days left on the trip, and we're spending one of them here at Brazilian Park, Washuzan Highland. They have the Ultra Twister, they have the Pink Typhoon standing coaster, which you can also sit down backwards on, and they got the Choopy coaster. So, sounds like a kid's coaster, but it's really not. So, let's go check it out. We just climbed up those stairs, seeing that there's even more stairs, it goes up even higher, and also to find out that we just overshot the Typhoon coaster because the station's down there. That's fun. Alright, we're almost to the top. Not really. No, we're not even close to the top. But we've gone so far, and yet have so far to go.
Oh no, yeah, I like your jellyfish. I did. These are working out. But it's okay. On the way back.
So this Ferris wheel has a couple seats on here, but you are just kind of sitting out in the open, which is, I'm sure, is terrifying and also really fun at the same time. So. This Ferris wheel is not air conditioned, but they gave us fans, which is very necessary. That thing is just like sticking out of the brush there. Like, is there even a path to get there? It's just a random flat ride in the bushes. Alright, so Ultra Twister was fun, albeit quite rusty. The backwards Togo Pink Typhoon coaster was actually really good. And now we get to do it standing up, which is going to be fun. And then the Chupi coaster way at the top of the hill, that was a janky mess, but had some great views. So I'm going to get my 4th credit of the day. I don't want to hear any arguments about that. 4th credit of the day. Going to do the stand-up Togo, which is something I've not done in 17 years since Shockwave at King's Dominion. We're in the King's Dominion shirt in honor of Shockwave. Let's see how big of a mess this is. Alright, my first Togo stand-up experience in a long time. That felt a lot like a B&M surf coaster. That was a lot like Pipeline, the way the seats would move up and down the airtime hills. Some serious positive G's at the bottom of the drop in the loop. Really crushing your legs in there. That was an experience. It wasn't a bad experience, but it was weird. Definitely different than sitting down. I do not feel bad for marking that as 2 credits. Yeah, 2 very, very interesting Togo experiences. Sitting backwards and standing up. Yeah, this place is crazy. And then you get to ride an Ultra Twister too. It's like Togo paradise here. Alright, so that is a wrap from Washuzan Highland, Brazilian Park. 1 more day left on this trip, but it's going to be a good one. Universal Studios Japan. Let's go.
This new update better give me a new looping song.
Alright, one last park on the trip. Universal Studios. It's going to be a wild day, so let's get started. 14 hours. That was a B&M Hyper, mini Hyper backwards airtime.
It was amazing. I loved it.
It was good. Yeah, some people were like, that was so good, that was amazing. And they were in the same, we were in row 4. And then I realized like, yeah, that was good. Like it had some airtime, definitely had some airtime. I wonder if we got a better row, maybe running forwards, it'd be a little bit more of an airtime machine. Pretty long ride too. I would say I kind of went in with very low expectations for Hollywood Backdrop or Hollywood Dream just because it kind of looks slow and small. More of like a show coaster than a thrill coaster.
I expected 0 airtime, and there was plenty.
And we got some.
Yeah.
So there you go. Hollywood Dream. We got to do it forward now. Eventually, but not right now. Let's do something else. All right, VR coaster. That's the first one that I've been on in like a long time. That was your first one ever,
First one ever.
That was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
That was worth the wait.
You think so?
Yeah, spinning, non-spinning mock rides, VR coaster through the streets and racing, and it was cool.
It synced up really well with the track.
It did. Was it worth an hour? I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Harry Potter, Forbidden Journey, single rider. Where are you? Somewhere. That way. Let's go.
Time for an incredible journey.
We achieved the hippogriff credit, although that leg room is like non-existent. It actually, if it's possible to have negative leg room, that's what I had. You had to twist my leg into knots, but got the credit. So these guys, you know, sit in the front row.
We got all the leg room in the world.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
What was that? That was insane. Flying dinosaur. Best flyer that you've been on.
Absolutely.
Best flyer I've been on too. That thing does not let up. Like Tatsu has some crazy moments, Manta has some crazy moments. That doesn't stop from the first big drop all the way until that final barrel roll. It's still going like 80 miles an hour to that barrel roll at the end.
Everyone just coming back into the station was just panting and
Yeah.
it was whoa.
Whoa, we gotta do that again later. That was insane.
Yeah.
Well, goodbye Super Mario World. It is basically the same exact carbon copy of Epic Universe, so been there, done that. Still pretty fun though. So we waited in line for the Snoopy coaster for an hour.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Not worth it. But we got new credit. Got out of the sun for a while. Then we got a ride on Hollywood Dream going forward, and that was not as good. It was a bit of a disappointment. Airtime was low for us. We were kind of near the back. We were row 6 of 9, but that was much better backwards. Invest the time and do backdrop. And do both. But just know that backdrop's way better. No, exact speed. Flying Dinosaur. Top 50 coaster?
Absolutely. That ride's amazing.
I don't know if I can put a B&M Flyer in my top 50, but if I was going to put one in my top 50, it'd be that one. All right, and that is it for the Japan trip. Nick, that was a trip, man.
That was a
2 weeks.
phenomenal trip.
Yes, we ended on Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, and it was a good way to end. Not a great way to end.
A little bit of headbanging.
Flight, yeah. The only headbang got this whole trip was on freaking Despicable Me. Anyway, back to the States. It's been good hanging out. Japan's been good to us. Don't like your locker policies and the credit card stuff, all that stuff. All right, anyway, see you next time.
The conductor's room is in car number 8.
All right, well, it only seems right that to end the Japan trip, we take one last ride on X2. So, awesome ride as always. That is it. We're going back to Oklahoma, and that wraps up the whole Pacific trip. So, Northern California, Japan, and Magic Mountain. That's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.